be talking about body recomposition, what it is, ways that you can do it, who is it good for, all that good stuff. So stay tuned. This episode is going to be all about body recomposition and how to utilize that in order for you to lose fat and gain muscle mass at the same time. At the end of the day, muscle is the currency that we all want and don't want to lose. So let's get into it. So what is body recomposition? Body recomposition is a fitness goal focusing simultaneously losing fat as you build muscle mass or gain muscles in general. And so it's unlike the traditional way to lose weight where people excessively do cardio and things like that. So this way we're gonna build muscle, lean muscle for that matter, and we're gonna lose fat at the same time simultaneously. And it's unlike the traditional way of losing and gaining weight. It's changing your body composition to create leaner and stronger muscles. And it's not just like to move this scale, it's also so that your body is basically chiseled in a way where we're creating a physique that looks leaner and feels leaner at the same time without like really being this scale as much. And so we're not really focusing on this scale. So for those of you who are always weighing yourself and things like that, this is where we forget about this scale and we just focus on progress based off of how our body looks. And this is why it's important to take progress pictures as well. All right, so let's talk more about this as well. And so for beginners, body recomposition is actually essentially really achievable due to the newbie gains. So for example, when you just start working out, you get that newbie phase, so where you're able to build massive amount of muscle and you're able to change your physique based off of how you like and you want to look basically. So because of this phenomena, as you start exercising and making better choices, your body responds to the dramatic bodybuilding or muscle building phase, thus burning fat simultaneously. So that's what the whole concept of body recomposition is. So when starting your fitness journey, this is why reverse diet actually really matters a lot, especially if you want to lose weight. When you start your reverse diet with just gradually increasing your caloric intake for the day, it really is going to help you have reserve for caloric deficit later on in the future if you are planning to cut, like for example if you want to lose weight, which is why the cutting process comes in. And so at the beginning, a lot of people don't really have a lot of reserve in terms of calories to even cut from. So if you're not eating your main 3 meals a day, if you're not eating enough calories to sustain you for the muscle growth phases, especially when we get into the gym and start lifting weights, it really is going to hinder your progress. So this is where we choose the version of, you know, getting into caloric surplus a little bit. So for example, if your caloric intake for the day should have been 1700 calories, let's say, we're going to add additional 200 or 300 additional calories for the day just so we can get into that little bit of caloric intake. It's going to really actually help you jumpstart your muscle building phases as well as your growth when it comes to losing weight, as well as when it comes to getting a lot of better nutrition into your body. Because if you're not fueling your body, there's really nothing we can cut from, especially at the beginning. So this is why getting into that little bit of caloric increase is really important, especially if you're just starting out. So a lot of people, especially a lot of my clients, this is where we start from pumping up the calories a little bit for the first like 3-4 months, and then from there, once we are at a stable ground when it comes to our caloric intake for the day, then we can reduce that and get into a little bit of a cutting phase for like another like maybe 2 or 3 months, and then kind of bump it back up. That's really gonna help you with jump starting your metabolism, getting you into healthier phases and ways that you can actually even manage yourself when it comes to your actual caloric intake for the day. So this is why we do start this process right away. And so let's get into the actual benefits of increasing your calories at the beginning. I know for the ladies, it's a really hard thing to get across, especially as a trainer, but I promise you guys, if you follow this process to the T, you will get the benefits out of it. So let's get into the benefits of the caloric increase at the beginning phases of your body recomposition. Okay, so benefits of reverse dieting for women, especially at the beginning when you are just starting out with your fitness journey. Number 1 is metabolism boost. So we are gonna prepare your metabolism for it to work smarter for you, not harder. So chronic diet, like for the crash diets, some people kind of get into and out, does slow down our metabolism. So this is gonna help you with the chronic diet and which slows down your metabolism over time. So reverse diet is gonna help you repair that and make your body more efficient when it comes to burning calories. So your body is gonna be literally a machine that's gonna help you burn calories on its own, especially when it comes to lifting weights as you get into this body recomposition, as well as getting into the caloric increase at the beginning of your fitness journey. And for example, this is what it looks like. So when you get into the gym, gym and you build your, for example, we're doing like weightlifting session. When we get into the gym and we do that actual session, this is where your muscles are breaking down. We're literally breaking down your muscles. And so the actual muscle building phases, and it starts when you get home, and that's when it repairs, and it's actually burning more calories as you're literally sitting in the couch watching TV or whatever the case might be. So this is why we want that metabolism to jumpstart and work for you, not against you. All right, next, another benefit of reverse dieting is the hormonal balance aspect of it, which prepares your calories for like your caloric intake for the day to support your hormones that regulates energy, mood, as well as fat loss, especially for women. We want those hormones to be efficient when it comes to your fat loss phases, and we want your mood and your energy to be high. So for a lot of my clients, this is one of the main things that we target at the beginning, because I want them to feel good and I want them to feel energized throughout the day, whatever they're doing, so that way they are able to go through their day without a hitch. But also we're growing our muscles and we're growing with our nutrition as well in addition to that. So it's gonna help you work smarter, not harder. So this is the whole point of body recomposition, which is we want to work smarter, not harder, especially at the beginning. And this is where it's gonna really help you understand how the process works. So at the beginning, it will take a lot of, especially the ladies, it will take you guys a little bit to kind of come around. But once you really do understand, it does really help with the hormonal support aspect as well. All right, so let's get into the next step. Another benefit of reverse dieting, especially for women, is muscle preservation. By increasing calories and incorporating strength training, we're gonna preserve your lean muscle mass, which is really essential, especially for women, for long-term fat loss and body recomposition. And this is really gonna help us prepare our body for the cutting phase once we get there, which takes a little bit of process as well and is a little bit tedious, but this is gonna prepare us to get into that phase, which I'm gonna talk a little bit later, so stay tuned for that. Another benefit of the reverse diet process is sustainability, which is gonna really help you effectively do the caloric deficit later in the future, like I just said, and it's gonna also reduce the risk of injuries, burnout, and plateau. And so that's why we really do want to start with the reverse dieting process before we get into the cutting phase and all that other stuff. So this is another reason which is really helpful, especially for the ladies, because we don't want, like I just said, our hormones to be out of whack. We don't want us to injure ourselves in the gym. We don't want to plateau. We don't want to have low energy and our moods to be a little bit lower as well. So once we start with the reverse dieting process, it's gonna really prevent all those issues. So this is why, especially for women, because our hormones are like, you know, sometimes fluctuate, some things like that, is really is important for us to start with the reverse diet process. All right, so we're just talking about this whole process. So what does studies say about this? What does the science part of things say about this, especially the reverse dieting process? So research show that maintaining adequate caloric intake or calorie intake supports metabolism, just like I was talking about. It also reduces negative impacts of dieting, so like the yo-yo dieting and things like that. So you're gonna be able to stay consistent with your diet longer. And then also it enhances adherence to fitness programs. So you're gonna be able to adapt to your fitness program. For example, if we change the reps, the sets, the tempo, the weights, all that, you're gonna be able to adapt quicker when it comes to the fitness aspect of it or weightlifting aspect of things. Reverse dieting is also a proven strategy to prepare your body for a long-term success. And this is what the sustainability part of things is all about. We wanna start something and be able to sustain it for a long term, especially when it comes to fitness journey. This is gonna be a lifestyle for us, so it's not gonna be something that we're gonna do it because of the trend that's going on now or whatever the case might be. Once you start with your fitness journey, it's gonna be a long-term, hopefully for you guys, as it is for me, it's gonna be a long-term journey for you when it comes to our diet, when it comes to our fitness, when it comes to our mobility, because we also want to, you know, grace and age gracefully when it comes to all those other stuff. And in addition to that, like I said, our moods, our hormones, and all that good stuff. All right, so let's get into the next steps of things like bulking, cutting, things like that, and why those things are, you know, the reasons that, you know, a lot of people love to do those things as well. All right, let's get into that. All right, next, let's talk about bulking versus shredding. I've been saying cutting this whole time. I just refer it as that. That's just my personal references. But all right, let's talk about bulking first. Well, bulking and shredding, the two different phases. There are two different phases that you can go into in your, you know, gym or fitness goals. So bulking and shredding are two different phases, of course, of a fitness goals and journeys, and each of it has its own purpose. Let's talk about bulking first, which is where I started, which is my favorite. So the purpose of bulking is to build muscle by consuming more calories than you burn. So we're gonna gonna do that like additional caloric surplus when we're doing bulking. Also, the benefits of bulking is increased muscle size, improvement of strength, and of course it builds foundation for body recomposition as well. All right, who can do it and when to do it, right? It's best for those who are at a healthy body fat percentage and want to prioritize muscle growth. So somebody like me, when I was starting my fitness journey, who was, you know, tiny, skinny, and wanted to put some on my body, that was the best phase for me at the beginning. So, and if you are somebody who have been, you know, in the fitness industry already, who's been working out, you've been doing your own journey, and you are at a phase where you're like, all right, I'm at a healthy body fat percentage, I can take a little bit of, you know, bulk on, because one of the downsides of bulking phases is accumulating body fat percentage. If you don't want that, I think you can do like a mini bulk, which is also an option. But if you want to do full bulk, you could expect a little bit of fluffiness, which is normal, totally fine, because you're gonna grow, you know, massive muscle mass, as well as you're gonna grow your strength like there's no tomorrow. And I can literally vouch for that, and I love the bulking phases. I skipped that this year, but all right, let's get back into it when it comes to the shredding part of the process. All right, next let's talk about shredding. The shredding phase is, the purpose of shredding, of course, is to lose fat by consuming fewer calories, or in caloric deficit as we call it. And the benefit of it is it enhances your muscle definition. Of course, you're leaner, so when you're leaner, your muscles are gonna come out, you're gonna see that six-pack up. All right, and then it improves athletic performance. So for example, if you wanted to do a run or something like that, of course it's easier when you are a little bit leaner and lighter weight, and then you get like the appearance of having a leaner muscles as well. So for example, you're gonna see a lot of definition on your body. And when to do it, it's ideal after building solid base or following reverse diet. Like I said, if you have a solid foundation when it comes to your nutrition, so for example, you did the reverse diet, then you can follow, especially if you want to lose fat, then you can follow with the shredding phase as well. But if you don't have a base foundation when it comes to your nutrition, it's gonna be harder for you to cut down to like say 1200 calories and things like that, because that's not really healthy, it's not sustainable, it's not something that you can, you know, take the risk on. I wouldn't personally as a woman, because I want to protect my hormones, I want to protect my muscle and things like that. So that's the shredding phase. All right, so next let's get into conclusion and things like that. So let's talk about the misconceptions a little bit, because I get these questions all the time in my DMs, especially from the ladies. So for women, often one of the biggest and main misconception is if you do bulk, you're gonna look too bulky, you're gonna look manly and things like that. However, building muscle mass does take a harder work to do. Honestly, you're not just gonna look like a bodybuilder overnight. So when building muscle, personally, I think it's gonna help you sculpt your body, especially if you did the bulking phase, for example, like I did at the beginning. It's gonna help you gain muscle mass. It's gonna help you sculpt your body, so you can focus on whatever you want. But I would really advise for you guys, especially if you're doing weightlifting, to train your whole entire body. And I am, you know, I love the holistic approach when it comes to that. So we look like well-defined human being, you know what I mean? And then also it does increase metabolism when you do the bulking or reverse diet, whichever you choose based off of your body fat percentage at the moment. And then it makes you lose fat a lot faster when you're shredding, because now you kind of trick your metabolism. Now you train your metabolism to work faster for you and to, you know, work for you, not against you basically. And so thus you're gonna get much faster, of course, appearance when it comes to the shredding phase. You're gonna get much faster results when it comes to your shredding phase, and you're gonna see those results much faster once you do it the right way. Okay, that's the whole point. All right, next let's get into a little bit of a key takeaways. All right, for those of you who are in your fitness journey at the moment, here's some key takeaways from this episode. So body recomposition is of course achievable, especially in the beginning stages of your fitness journey. Reverse dieting is safe and effective way, of course, to prepare your body for long-term fat loss, especially for women who have the history of yo-yo dieting or chronic dieting. Bulking builds foundation and shredding reveals the results. So at the end of the day, once you bulk and build those massive muscles, then you shred, you're gonna reveal those muscles basically that was under the hood. And so both are essential for transforming your physique. And remember, every journey is different, everybody's different, and at the end of the day, focus on you. At the end of the day, listen to your body. Remember, this is journey, not a sprint at the end of the day. And so I hope you guys take a lot of good information from this episode, as well as if you do have any questions, be sure to put it in the comments below. Let me know. We're gonna put all the resources and things like that in the description below. If you want to take your journey to the next level, be sure to also apply for my one-on-one coaching, where we literally focus on all these things and concepts concepts and things like that, and I will help you, guide you, and hold your hand to get to where you need to be in your fitness journey. So be sure to reach out, follow me on other socials, and I will see you guys on the next episode. Bye!